Have you come down from the cloud yet?
Feels like it's sinking a little.
What was that?
Feels like it's sinking a little.
Well, knowing you can really effortlessly come down off of the cloud, can you tell me any impressions you're having?
A lot of moments flooding back at once.
Yes. What moments are those?
Being old, crying, dancing.
And how are you perceiving these or experiencing these?
They're just washing over my mind.
Yeah.
Like they're my memories, but they're not.
Yeah.
It's like density of time doesn't matter. It's just an essence.
And in this space of observation, where these images and flashes, where you're perceiving, do you feel like you're perceiving them from a point of consciousness?
Collectively.
Collectively. And the space that you're in, is there anything else you notice about it?
It's vast.
Vast.
Green.
Green. Do you perceive green around you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Almost hazy.
Beautiful. And do you have a sense of being in a form? Do you have a form?
Yes.
If you look down, can you describe your body? Do you have feet?
Small feet.
Small feet.
Delicate.
Delicate feet. And as you move up your body, what else do you notice?
White diaphanous fabric.
Yeah. It's on your legs. Do you have legs?
Yes.
Yes. And what about your torso?
It's wrapped in an elaborate gold belt.
Yeah. Your shoulders and arms?
It's almost Grecian.
Yeah. Is there anything on your head? Are you wearing anything on your head?
On my forehead.
Yeah. In your hands, can you see your hands?
I have a bracelet on each arm.
Yeah. Are you carrying anything? The lute?
A harp or something.
Yeah. This body, is it male or female?
Female.
Young or old?
Young.
And does the body feel healthy?
Glowing with health.
Glowing with health. Beautiful. In the space you're in, can you look around some more and tell me what's around you?
Almost like an aquamarine. It's blue-green.
Yeah.
With a deeper green inside, some kind of a core.
And are you able to move around in this space if you want to?
Freely.
How do you do that?
Thought.
Through thought. So you think about where you want to go and you move through the space?
Yeah.
Yeah. And does this space feel familiar to you?
It does. I think I was born here.
Yeah. And are you alone in this space?
There are others, but they're lower.
Lower.
More towards the center of whatever gravitational field there is.
Yeah, I see. And are you in contact with them?
They know I'm here.
Mm-hmm. And what's your relationship with these other beings?
Cousins.
Cousins.
Sisters, mainly.
I see. And do you ever go to where they're at, lower in gravity, to visit them?
Yes, but there's a reason I'm here now.
I see. What is the reason you're there now? Do you have a sense of it?
Speak with someone.
Mm-hmm. And you came to this space to speak with someone?
Mm-hmm.
Mm. Do you know who that is?
Hillary.
Hillary. And is Hillary nearby? You said
I don't think she exists yet.
I see. When you say she doesn't exist yet, what does that mean? What do you mean by that?
It's a long time ago from where she is.
I see. And how do you know Hillary?
We're related somehow.
I see. And have you always been in this space?
This is definitely home.
It's home.
Yeah, it's It's like an ancestral home.
This space is an ancestral home?
But it feels very far from the idea of Hillary.
You're doing great. You feel very what? You're referring to the Hillary in this lifetime, in this experience?
In a different universe.
In different eras?
In a different era, in a different universe.
I see. And can you talk any more about how you are connected or related? Did you say that you're related?
It's almost as though she's my descendant.
Yes.
But I'm also her descendant.
I see. And may I ask, when you said you come to this space, you said you came to this space to meet with Hillary?
Yes. It's a return of some kind, celestial.
I see. And are you referring to meeting with her in this now moment?
Yes.
Through this experience?
Yeah, I know somehow that what I say will be heard by her.
Yes, clearly, yes, it will be. And there's a purpose of what is there something you would like to say to her? Is there a message that you had for her to come to this space where you could connect and communicate?
To not fear.
To not fear.
There is purpose. And that she had to leave here for a reason.
She had to leave the space where you're at for a reason?
Yes. It wasn't a punishment.
No.
Although I think she thinks it was.
That's your perception of her?
Yeah.
Yeah. And what is this space where you're at? Could you describe it for her?
I think she knows it.
Yeah.
It's Venus.
It's Venus. I know there are many advanced souls from Venus. Is that what you're referring to?
Yeah.
Yeah. And the connection, could you talk about the connection to Venus?
It's only a part of her.
Yes. Are you willing to speak of any other parts of her?
She's descended from a few. Hilarious. She's a bit of a hybrid.
She's something of a hybrid?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. And where you're communicating from her right now, that space, you would describe it as Venusian energies from Venus?
Yes, it's the one she identifies with the most.
I see.
So this form made the most sense.
Yes. And you said her coming here to have this experience wasn't punishment. What was the purpose? Could you speak to the purpose of why she came here to have this experience?
Living on Venus, there are a few things that galvanize your identity and your sense of self.
Yes.
There's no adversity.
I see.
It's peaceful here.
Yes. Could you speak more about the adversity part? Why did Hillary, her higher self, her soul, want to come here to experience adversity?
She chose it.
Mm-hmm.
She always liked a challenge.
Yes.
But it deepens the understanding of love.
Could you speak to that, please? How does experience adversity deepen the experience of love?
To feel pain and not have that pain turn to hate.
Mm-hmm.
It's burnishing, it's strengthening, it's deepening the meaning of love.
I see. And that was a lesson she wanted to learn?
She just wanted to be strong.
To be strong.
I think that was the Polarian in her.
I see.
Without understanding what humanity goes through,
Mm-hmm.
nothing could be taught.
When you say nothing could be taught, what do you mean by that?
Well, she's meant to teach the meaning of love.
I see. Who is she meant to teach this to?
Someone that she loves unconditionally.
I see.
She's tried
She's tried to teach.
many times.
I see.
Many lifetimes.
In many lifetimes. Yes.
Her human ancestors are very fraught, despite beauty and charm and grace.
Very fraught with what?
Difficult love.
Difficulty experiencing love?
Receiving it.
Receiving it.
That's the trick with love is you can give it unconditionally and freely, and often it's not returned.
Mm-hmm.
And you can receive it, and yet often it's not reciprocated.
Mm-hmm.
It's something we're trying to understand.
When you say we, who do you mean by we?
Disciples of Hathor.
Could you speak about Hathor? Or the Hathors?
We have roots in Egypt.
Yes.
She was a goddess.
Mm-hmm.
All the goddesses are connected somehow.
Yeah. And what were the teachings of Hathor that might be appropriate to remind her of?
The beauty isn't always the conventional form.
Could you speak to that, please?
She's been seeing it in too narrow of a way.
Yeah. Beauty. She's been seeing beauty in too narrow of a way.
Yeah, she thinks if she abides by a definition of beauty that most people do,
Yes.
that its universality will transcend understanding, but it's not working.
I see.
She's blocked somehow.
I see.
Some energy is blocking her understanding of this.
I see.
So she repeats the same mistakes.
The same mistakes. And why would she repeat the same mistakes? What would be the purpose of that?
It's not that there's a purpose to it, it's that she hasn't found the expression of beauty in herself in alternate ways.
I see. Is that something you could help her with?
She needs to stop feeling the wounds and the pain in a way that is hidden. She fears that it's ugly.
She feels what's ugly?
She fears it's ugly. The pain, the wounds,
Yes.
the scars.
I see.
But it's not, it's human.
Yes.
She's always hated the human side of herself.
Yeah.
They're the most vulnerable.
Yes. And your existence on Venus, how is that? How do you experience that differently? You said you don't experience adversity?
It's all love here.
All love.
Love in such a way that there's love for things that haven't even happened.
That's fascinating. Could
It
you
applies to all our alternative possibilities, every quantum permutation,
Yes.
because we're all descended from love here.
Yes. And you remember that?
It's a deep connection.
Yes. And could you talk about your connection with the Earth and humanity?
Well, it's very close by,
Yes.
but Earth is filled with those who weaponize love.
Yes.
And denizens of Earth tend to separate it into stored love, into agape love, into different kinds of love, and it's not different. Love is molecular, cellular. Well, if a being starts existence as a single cell,
Yes.
and that cell experiences love,
Yes.
the DNA is altered. DNA is expressed differently when love is present, and that's expanded and extrapolated from the original cell.
I see.
Her DNA is different, but the love was still there. Human DNA is altered by love as well as the Alpha Centauri and the Polaran.
Yes.
But the love has made her fragile. She's in a place where it's not fully understood, and to love too quickly is seen as a fault.
Yes.
She doesn't know how to temper it,
Yes.
balance it, distribute it.
And that's not new in her experience?
She has a tendency to want to retreat if she expresses it when it's not reciprocated.
I see. And why is that?
Ego.
Ego. You said the Venusian life energy is what she is resonating most with or feels most comfortable with?
It vacillates.
Yes. And you mentioned Alpha Centauri and Polaris and others. Is there anything?
The antisocial qualities of Polaris have affected her darkest times.
Could you speak to that, please? What was antisocial about the Polaris lifetimes or energy?
Well, I'm speaking harshly, but the part of her that's more withdrawn, that doesn't think that she's worthy of love,
Yes.
tends to retreat. That's the trouble with a being that understands everything through the lens of love.
Mm-hmm. How is that a problem?
Because here on Earth, it's rare, that love. And when expressed to those who aren't accustomed to it, they either hoard it, or abuse it,
Mm-hmm.
or reject it. Very few accept it.
Mm-hmm.
She did try to experiment with things, with using technology.
Experiment with what things?
With distributing and tempering that love through technology.
Tempering that love, her expression of love through technology?
Yeah, it was rather arrogant.
Could you speak to what the example of that?
She had a theory
Mm-hmm.
that fame and love were similar,
Yes.
and to be loved from afar, a way to spread love faster.
I see.
And that's her objective.
To spread love is her objective.
It's all of her objective.
It's all. What do you mean by it's all of her objective?
It's all Venusian's objective.
I see, is to spread love.
There's an intensity about her that she can't control.
Can't or chooses not to control.
Can't, but she thinks she can control it.
And has that been an issue for her? That intensity?
She resonates at a frequency that, if unchecked, can be draining.
How is it draining for her, that frequency?
She thinks that expressing intensity of love is a more powerful form of it.
I see. And from your perspective, is that true?
Oh, it's like being in the sun. The intensity of the sun
Yes.
doesn't make you stay there longer.
Yes.
The hottest days are the days where people avoid it altogether.
Are the days where people what altogether?
Avoid it altogether.
That's true. And from Hillary's perspective, How could you describe you, the aspect of her that's communicating?
I am simply the voice of that love
Yes.
in a more evolved state.
When you say evolved, are you referring to densities and dimensions?
Yes.
And is there a particular density or dimension you exist at?
It's this green energy.
Yes.
Intensity merely damages the receptors for love.
How does it do that?
Well, the DNA of humans is weaker.
Why is it weaker? Weaker
So
than...
much.
Go ahead, please.
Oh, just weaker from nuclear energy, from magnetic fields, from all the bombardment that they deal with on Earth.
I see. As compared to your DNA?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
It's very interesting about our DNA being part human.
Yes. When you say part human, what's the other part?
Our mother's side,
Yes.
they're Venusian, Alpha Centaurian.
Yes.
Father's side is Polaran and human.
I see. And could you describe the Alpha Centauri energies? Or consciousness?
They are competitive,
Yes.
logical, also creative.
Mm-hmm.
Creativity is resonant within her,
Very much so, yes.
but she fears it.
She fears her creativity.
She fears expressions which have unknown outcomes.
I see.
She's learned to exist without full expression.
She's trained herself to do that?
As a way to protect herself.
Yes. You said that you love all possibilities? All potentials?
Yes.
Does that mean that you don't fear full expression? Because you know any of those potentials you will still love?
That's true.
Yes.
Although expression of love in some potentials is different.
Yes.
And that's the confusing part, I think.
Yes.
The shadow self.
Is there anything else you would like to share with her?
She needs to learn to trust again. Love and trust are inextricably linked.
Yes. Could you speak to that, please? The link between love and trust?
Trust is the expression of love. It's a leap, but that's the imprint that's left after even love is gone. She keeps looking for validation that what she's expressing and what she's trying to teach is observed and received.
Yes.
But that's the thing, until it is, trust doesn't exist. So if trust doesn't exist, then the expression of receiving love is not possible.
I see.
That's the problem of applying Venusian concepts on Earth, is that causality is different.
How do you...
Venusian causality is implied, whereas on Earth it's a linear process.
I see. And you spoke of trust?
Trust is the product of accepting love.
I see.
You don't fully trust without love, and you don't fully love without trust.
I see.
It's chicken and egg.
Mm-hmm.
On Earth, that's a big problem.
Mm-hmm. But not on Venus.
Mm-mm. What will happen has already happened.
I see. So there's no doubt of the outcome?
No. Its causality is like an atom that's been split on Earth, but here it's just an atom. The incident. It's a conducive environment for love, yeah.
Yes.
Like electricity and water. All Venusians experience some withdrawal from that environment.
When they incarnate elsewhere?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what she's going through.
That discomfort.
Well, the fact that there is no vector for the expression of love on Venus and on Earth, it's extremely direct and concentrated.
Yes.
To love one is to love all, but not on Earth.
I see. And you, from the Venusian perspective, when your soul or your consciousness desires to create something, to bring something into existence from your creativity, you don't worry about the outcome?
We love our creations.
Beautiful. And from your perspective, and Hillary's expressed some resistance about fully expressing your creativity because of concern about how it will be received. Is that accurate? What would your recommendation be to her?
Express without a destination.
What does that do when she's able to do that?
If something is created with a destination in mind, it's pre-planned death.
I see. And you said you love your creations.
Yes, they're part of beauty. They're mental energy freely.
For any other consciousness to experience in any way they desire.
Correct.
Yes. And you're not attached to that experience or how they accept or don't accept or resonate or don't resonate with it.
The other aspect of it is the attachment.
Yes. To what becomes of your creations.
You can love them without being attached to them.
Beautiful. Yeah. And if Hillary was able to start again creating from a space of without condition, just from the desire to create and the love of her creations, how would that shift her experience?
Well, for one, she wouldn't be prone to obsession.
Yes.
Which one may as well bare their throat to the sword.
Yes. Anything else?
These trials have only broadened the frequencies at which she can express love.
I see. So even the difficult experience she's had have broadened her access to the spectrum of love?
Yes.
Yes.
What she sees as failure are her greatest successes. That potential to be let down and hurt by others existed before she even knew them. And yet she loved them anyway.
Yes.
She's learned to love more broadly.
Yes.
than could possibly be expressed if she had never left.
Yes.
It was her hubris that caused her to seek this challenge, but
The challenge of this lifetime and the circumstances?
it wasn't something anyone else wanted to do.
I see.